we're talking about what's eating you. Talking about what's eating you.
Proudly brought to you by Rogers Hood Apothecary. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to What's Eating You. We are your hosts, Sam
and Kim.
And we are serving you all of the health and wellness information and healing knowledge that you're hungry for. Please remember to like, subscribe, share with your loved ones. You just never know who this information can help. Today, we have a very special guest, a healer, a medicine man, a doctor, and Kim's very dear friend, none other than Dr. Chris Motley, DC. Welcome to the show, Dr. Motley. Thank you for being on What's Eating You.
Oh, I'm grateful, and I'm thankful, and I'm really excited.
We're so excited to have you.
I can't believe that you guys are in Nashville at this amazing place where you can see eagles, and I really appreciate it because you guys are really blowing up and just moving along and putting the hard work in. So I really am thankful for this, though, seriously.
It's our honor.
I love it, too. You guys are just doing such good work.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's our honor and pleasure. Yeah, we're so stoked to have you. I mean, we really want to dive into your story, you know. Kim, anything specific you want to know? Want to ask?
Yeah, well, thank you for being here.
Thank
you for being part of our tribe. And our community loves you. And just
they really do.
They really do.
No,
Motley.
it is true. Yeah,
they really do. They love you. You're just such a wisdom, and the way you explain things is so amazing. So please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And just keep showing the world what doctors and healers look like, because it's important for us, right? It's important for us to see this.
I appreciate it so much. I think that's what we were talking about before, about taking some of the stigma and some of the fear of individuals or doctors or going to a professional or any type of profession that could do in healing, because we're in a realm where they have made us believe that you don't ask doctors questions.
Yeah.
And I think that has to be kind of pushed aside so you can actually know you can ask people questions and get some answers, hopefully. Yeah. So this is great.
I'm glad you're showing it to the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad they like me, though.
They do.
We'll get answers from reliable, capable people, you know, and so for you to be a deep well of wisdom, we got to witness you firsthand in your genius. It was quite a sight to watch you work, and you can tell that you are the real deal. And we all just today were talking about that, and it was really something to see you work on Kim last night. It was really cool. We all want to know, what is this thing on your hip that you use, and how does it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. When we talk about frequency medicine and using music and tones to help heal individuals, my mentor is Dr. Dowdy, and he was out of Wichita, and he wanted to use electronic or electric medicine more than he wanted to use nutritional medicine. I can't speak for him. He's like a surrogate dad. He's just like my dad, you know. Basically, in a nutshell, is if you can actually heal the tissue or help the body heal through using vibration, sound, light, or some form of frequency. So what he would do, just a quick backdrop, is that your muscles or your ligaments all vibrate at a certain healthy range, and if they fall out of that range, they can either get very cramped, or they can actually lose strength, or they can actually get diseased. And there's a lot of brilliant doctors that have done that before, and he found out that he could take microcurrent machines and put these little 10 unit stickers on you and run current through the muscles and bring it back to a healthy level. And he would see things which I can't really mention on this, about like going into remission that would normally not be going into remission, eventually helping people that had chronic parasites, yeast, mold, viruses heal up, because when the infection is so deep and you take some things and you're like, well, there's something still in my shoulder, he realized that he had to put a vibration in that joint to help pull that infection out. So when he started to use that, I learned from him, and he would have people on tables, like 4 or 5 tables, and had these current machines set up right near their vagus nerve. And he says, you can run the current through the brainstem, and if you cause the brainstem to have a vibration at a certain rate, it'll send a vibration through the rest of the body from your brainstem. Wow. So he would be helping people with anxiety. He'd help people with emotional issues. He wouldn't try to. He's not a really emotional guy, but people that had chronic infections. So all that to say, when I started to learn, he he developed a device that is similar to what we call a toughness instrument. So bear with me. I know it's a lot to take in, but in a nutshell, if I use this small device, and I should have brought it over here, but basically it's a small device that can pick up on the vibration and energy from these two or anybody you're working on. So with Kim, if you guys see the video, if I ever put my hand on Kim, and she will automatically transfer energy to me. And that happens to everybody out there. Sam does it with Kim, and vice versa. It's the same thing when you're around somebody and you'll feel your hair stand on end, or it's the same feeling you get when somebody's vibration patterns are not congruent with yours and you feel not comfortable around them.
A clash, yeah.
Yeah, you know, they call it the out of phase vibrational patterns, like you have reversed, flipped vibrations with somebody. And so he developed a device, and he found out that through his investigation that if I touched a part that was blocked of energy, you would essentially transfer the energy to me at that area. And my body, my skin, everything would change. The literal electricity in my body would change because I found the blockage in you. That makes sense. And so when you saw me working last night, I have to remember, anytime you're around somebody, they transfer energy or chi or vibration to you, that's information. And so vibrational information, and that information comes to me, but it's up to the person to decipher. And that's where people who are the most astounding healers, the people who really understand and read the room, where you know when somebody has a parasite, you're like, why do I know? It's because you've set your body up as a great radio tower to receive frequency. You know, like you'll go to somebody and go, I know that person's hurting. I know that person has parasites here. When I see them, it's because you became the grounding rod for that person, and you can decipher the information. So over the years, what's really interesting is that if a person came in with, like, let's say a chronic yeast infection or chronic parasitic infection, you take the information that it transfers, and is it not the best for the practitioner? At times it's not, but he developed systems to where you can find what points to treat for that condition. And so that's where you saw me working last night. For instance, like Kim had some hip issues. You don't mind me sharing.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Hip issues. But in the hip, there was a blockage of energy in the hip and chi. It's electrical patterns. But that information also contained frequencies of very old emotional patterns. So she transferred that to me. I just have a system that can hopefully find out which emotion it is. I'm not like a, you know, those people that you're around, they're just such good healers. I'm not touting my, pat myself on the back. No, but you know, when those people that can actually pick up and they'll say, oh, that person has anger, or that person has a really bad emotional traumatic issue at 5 years old.
Well,
and
that's
like,
high emotional intelligence as well, and empathy, being able to even pick up on those subtle things. Not everyone can do that.
Yes. And you think you see those people that are so good at it. I always found that I'm just a guy of consistency. Nice. I just do it over time, and I think I've gotten a little more proficient at it over the years. But that was the system. And so vibrational frequency medicine, it's about over 20-something years. So you get used to like how energy feels. And as weird as that may sound to some individuals, you can feel what a pattern feels like. So now I thought it was unusual when people can look at somebody and know how their body feels. But over the years now, I can look at somebody and go, I think I know why they feel the way they do. And I always thought that was something that was kind of, unusual. But now I can see people like you, like when you're intuitive, I'm just thankful that there's a recognition, and that's what you guys are doing.
So cool. So
That's
this
cool.
is energy medicine to a degree, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And
Is that what you would call it?
yeah.
Like,
I used to always sort of get with the term, but people understand when we talk about this kind of medicine, we say energy medicine, and people go, yeah.
Well, yeah.
They
Well,
totally
it's
get it.
science as well. It's not woo-woo anymore.
Yeah.
Is this specific type of medicine you practice? I know you said now it's for over 20 years, but is there origin or roots? Is it rooted in like ancient Chinese, or is it like homeopathic? Like, what's the roots of what you practice?
I will say that
the origin.
The electronic medicine is based at, my mentor would say, off traditional Chinese medicine or classical Chinese medicine concepts, and some of them say that comes from Ayurvedic. And the idea, like even if you look at a Chinese medicine doll, like we have with acupuncture, it really is rooted in the concept of that you have all these electrical circuits running through your body 24 hours a day. And so when we do frequency or energetic medicine, it's just learning where the energy is blocked at what time of day. And when you find that out, you can decipher quite a bit. For instance, and I don't want to get away from the conversation, but if you said something to me like, I get up every single morning at 2:15 a.m. and every time I get up, I look at it, it's 2:15 a.m. And most of you guys out there who are learned it in some acupuncture or something like that, you'll go, oh, I know what that is.
There's an organ that's
it's an
correlated
organ.
with that time.
Completely. And then you can say, well, what's the other option? Like, do you have bowel movements that float on top of the water? Oh, yes, I have that. And I was like, do you feel nauseous when you, yes. So then you go into the fact, like, it could be gallbladder or liver.
Puzzle pieces.
Puzzle pieces. So you can decipher the electrical patterns. But the beautiful thing about Chinese medicine and frequency medicine is you just get used to the patterns so much that you don't necessarily have to really test anybody in the sense because you can listen to what they tell you.
It's like a language.
It is a language.
So you're just listening to the body.
That's it.
And you're using tools and devices to do so, and skill and time and experience to do so, but you're listening to the body.
It truly is. And I think that's when you listen, I think that there are such great practitioners out there. They do it without even thinking about it. They know how to feel. We call it transposition. You transpose an energy and they know how it feels. I use my device because it's like my little safety net. And I'm a guy of patterns. So exactly. And you just have to learn how to listen to the language of it. It's up to you as the practitioner to see how you configure the response, like how you fix.
Decipher
it
the language.
out. Like you guys would say, let's put a tincture to it.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd say, like, let me just rub and get the joint fixed up for Kim and make her squirm all over the table. It's a different way.
Well, man, you started off telling her, okay, resist me pushing your leg down. And when they started, she actually had like almost no strength in that leg or ability to resist you, and you just push it straight down. But the other leg, she totally could resist. And by the end of the treatment of him working on her, she could totally resist on that leg. So you could see you unblocked whatever was blocked. And so, I'm a musician. And so everything you said, I just keep hearing like the body's an instrument.
It is.
And you're like helping tune it.
That's exactly right.
Because it gets out of tune.
That you could do the whole podcast just from that. You did a great job. Like it, I think it's really fun though when we look at the body as like a big, I don't just say guitar, but that's what interests me because I play a little bit of instruments, and when they talk about fine tuning the body, that's what my mentor used to always say. You got to fine tune it, and most people when you think about, let's say, when you're young, and some trauma happened to you or you had an injury, you just got to think of it somebody coming over to your guitar and just tuning down your string, and you never tuned it back up, and everything's going to sound the wrong note, doesn't sound like it's in the right key in life. And I think it's really, I think it's really unusual that whenever something gets out of tune in your body, you project that sound to people and things around you, so you eventually will attract the same note as you're projecting, which will be something that's off tune. And I, to me, when we talk about energy medicine, it's not only like learning how to listen, but how it feels. Because, when you're around in a big crowd at a concert, you're like, man, this feels great. Yeah. And you feel like that encouraging the heart, encouraging your body. But there's times when you go to a concert and your heart and your lungs and everything feels horrible.
Ooh, the frequency.
The frequency of it, because you got into a range that's not good for your organs. It's the same with people. So I think the music of life. Yeah. I used to always tell myself that it's the music of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all walking around, with our own individual unique soul frequency, I think. And so it's like I have my own unique one and no one else has mine. Yeah. And she has hers and you have yours. And I think there's other humans in life who, when you come into contact with them, you harmonize.
Yeah.
And like we instantly harmonize. I know when y'all met, you did. So your frequencies harmonize, and then there's people you meet and it's like two notes next to each other on a piano, and unless you really like jazz, you're totally clashing, and it's like clashing. But it's not that their frequency isn't just as important and necessary, because I feel like every single living everything on the planet in this realm has a frequency to contribute to the one song, the universe. So it's we all contribute our individual unique frequency to the one song. So even if you don't vibe with me, you're still just as valid here and important because you're contributing to the whole song.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm thinking about that. That's a great,
Isn't that cool?
That's a great
but
thought.
But your work is helping us tune ours because we get a little out of tune. Now, are we really putting out our real, genuine, authentic frequency?
That's a good point.
And so if we're ill or we're off balance or we're, out of tune, we need people like you. We need healers and we need energy workers and fine tuners that speak the language of the body that can help us tune to get into our flow. So we're living life in our authentic frequency. And then also, to really be in harmony with others. Because like you said, you could attract the wrong one if you're giving out the wrong one.
I mean, do you guys have that? Have you ever had those experiences in life?
Totally.
Yeah,
totally. Or even like in a day. In a day, you'll wake up in a mood or like, your energy's off that day and you're just like, oh, and then you keep attracting like more stuff goes wrong that day.
All day. And then you're off balance and then you're compensating. So you're trying to
overcompensate
and then and then that's damaging other parts of your frequency. There's just no flow.
No flow.
Yeah,
you're out of
your
flow.
Your flow is out. And then what do you do after that? You're trying to then compensate for it while you're trying to get back into the flow. Sometimes I just go back to bed and try again.
I think no, that's a really good point when you say you just go back to bed and flow. I mean, truly, it's like the resets in life. And I really love the way you put it and how you say that when you're like two notes right beside on the piano. And I think over the years though too, I think everybody's listening, when you work with individuals over the years, you'll see that not just couples, but you'll see individuals that don't mean to, but they'll repeat certain patterns.
Friends, business partners.
Every time. And they are in the same boat. And all they'll do is they'll change like position of life. Like I'm not in school anymore, but I'm at a job. But the same patterns have cyclical energy to them. And when they're out of tune, and it's beautiful how you said it, whenever somebody actually finds their authentic frequency, it's really like they just start to tune back up. And I think the experiences of life are what cause you to like make the minor adjustments.
That's good.
I think that when you think about all the minutia though, that's the hardest part, is that when people are in this life, that it is important to have your tribe around you. And I think it's probably one of the biggest keys though.
It is.
It has to be.
We track it on our aura rings when we're together.
Oh yeah, we do
our stress, both of us. If we're good for each other's nervous system.
Yeah.
We know that when we're around each other, we go into rest and restored and relax.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So finding your people,
it's so important.
Because,
it's so important.
I mean, come on.
It's so important.
And it is crazy.
I think that just coming from the woods, right, where we were there for years, to then developing the tribe around me and being really particular and making sure our notes played well together, because when you're living in your purpose, that is the most important thing, and you do have a frequency when you're in your purpose.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
And it's important to know what the frequency feels like with other people and your purpose.
That's right.
Wow, we touched on this last night, not even knowing we'd be talking about it today, but when we were in the living room on the couch, we were talking about how when two or more people come together with the same frequency or frequencies that harmonize together,
yeah, that's true,
we're amplifying our energy and message that we're putting out, or song or performance or energy, vibe, whatever you want to say, but like we're coming together, and now there's like three, so it's even more potent and powerful, and we're amplifying because we're all coming together, like, when
they come together. I one of the coolest things is like when you amplify like signals. One of the things about like homeopathy that I love is that, let's say you get a homeopathic remedy and you have the set frequency, and what makes it stronger, like you guys just said it, is they call it percuss. So you take a homeopathic vial and it is very important that you percuss the remedy to a certain level to amplify. So the more times you shake it or tap it, amplifies the signal. So you have a certain frequency, but the more you shake it up, the stronger it gets. So it's very important when you talk about being around each other, when your voices actually are in the same wavelength, because you'll amplify. So and this is how important it gets, like in energy medicine. Like, people go to infrared
Red light
and red light
therapy,
therapy. Truly, the biofields around you, the field of energy around you is very selective who comes in. You only listen to certain people's frequencies that are able to work through the small pores in your biofield. So what makes it so selective of you is that if you can find the holes in your biofield where my voice could affect you and we could amplify each other, if you find the correct angle to get into the biofield, when you listen to it, this is like from how they talk about light therapy, you actually will amplify the signal that gets through the pore. Like if it can fit through your biofield, it means it can amplify tremendously to the person who receives it. So you listening to somebody's voice like Jeremy's or something, it's like I pick up on that. It got through your biofield and it was selective for you, and that's just like light therapies work. And when you say like we're all together, we all amplify each other, I'm like, you guys weren't there by chance. You guys selected each other, and that's like because you're all in the same range.
Yeah.
We know we attracted each other. It was like magnets, like pulling each other to each other through time and space. So even before we ever even heard or knew each other existed, we were already doing it. And I think that's some soul level.
Truly.
Thing. Yeah. But God, this is so mind blowing to me. So you've now mentioned homeopathic.
Yeah.
Ancient Chinese, energy, frequency. So you practice all of these things. I mean, I know beforehand Kim was so curious to know. So go ahead and ask him.
What made you get into all of this, Motley? Dr. Motley?
What
like I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to know your journey into becoming this special doctor that you are.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You are special.
No, I appreciate it. No, I think that when I was younger, I think it was the experience. So there's two things. I'll cut to the chase. My mom, one of the biggest things is my mom's Korean, and she has Chinese blood in her too. And her relatives, we have old cousins, like distant, second, third removed and all that were in the hills of Korea that used to do herbals.
Oh, it's in your blood.
Cool.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, I don't know them. Like my mom thought they were crazy, and she like would say that, but she said my grandfather and my great grandfather would be doing like Tai Chi and Qigong, and because they came from Shanghai, like there's certain provinces in China because they had the Opium Wars, so they moved into Korea to escape it, but they had some herbalists in their field. So I think possibly that I felt comfortable. The flip side was I thought I'd either wanted to be a jet pilot or a sketch artist because I always wanted to copy my brother and or do something in that field. But when I started to think about caring for people, the one thing was my dad was supposed to have back surgery, and he was a military guy. And he went and saw a chiropractor, and he didn't have to have back surgery anymore. But that stuck in me because then also he told my brother to go to him, and my brother would breathe through his mouth. He had dust allergies. He said, don't worry about getting him shots because he would do the nasal sprays and shots. He said, don't worry about doing that. You just need to get his neck and his neurology fixed. Did it, and my brother started breathing through his nose.
Wow.
And that's pretty profound for a kid. Fast forward though, I want to go through, like I finally decided, when I got through school, I could always make my hands heat up. I could always make my hands real hot, and my friends thought it was really interesting. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I didn't find out about my distant cousins in Korea till later in life. But I think like natural motion of chi, I would just pull my hands up and get really hot. And I was like, well, I think it started to get to where I'm like, I think I would like to work with something that would actually help some people and individuals. And because I'm a science guy, I mean, I'm a nerd in that way. And when my dad, that always stuck in my brain is like, you mean you could actually help somebody by just looking at some symmetry or something on their body and get an idea, and you could put your hands on somebody and help them feel better. And that stuck with me. And then this is the kicker. I decided to go. I was like, well, my dad's friend said you can go to neurology, like be a neurosurgeon. You could be an osteopath. You can be a chiropractor. You can do Chinese medicine. But I had to pick something that was going to cover the whole gamut. In certain states, chiropractic or osteopath would be really big. Well, the big thing was when I went to school, I got into a rear end accident and I jacked my neck up pretty bad. And this is before I was going into graduate school. So I go there and I can't ever keep my neck steady. They did all the work on it. I get adjusted. It would fall right back out of place. I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm having headaches. I'm supposed to be going to school. And then I had a guy that lived near me. He's one of my chums. And he said, well, come here and let me work on you. And he did the kind of technique I do now. And I was like, you know, I got another story. Can I just?
Yes.
You keep going.
There's a lot of moving pieces.
We're in it. It's all good.
Well, I like to revert. So he has this small device that I used on you called a radionics. Like it's called a autonomous, and I used it on you, and that's where I trap energy, where I find the energetic blocks, right? So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to rewind. Well, my dad, who's the biggest drill sergeant and a very sweet man, he used to have fainting spells. And my dad was a strong dude. So he finally, during college, right before we went to college, like high school, college, he would have these fainting spells. And I would be like, it would irritate me because my dad's always been a big, strong guy. And he would go to the clinics and he'd give him nitroglycerin. And he was like, oh, it's just maybe your heart. They could never give him an answer. Okay? My dad's friend, my buddy in high school, his dad, he said, I have this machine that would help you and find out some things. And I was like, what does that mean? Basically, it's a radionics machine. And what it does, guys, is it can actually take your hair samples, nail samples, voice samples, and detect the frequency range within your voice. So he did that while I was in high school, and found out my dad had parasites in his liver.
Whoa.
All through his liver, right? And I was like, you know, back in the day, I didn't know what parasites your liver, and it took me back to another time when a chiropractor took my nail beds and he compressed them. He says, you got parasites. So he gave me grapefruit seed extract.
Wow.
This is before I went to school. That's why all these things are coming together. So he used that frequency machine. He says, oh, I'm going to pull it from you. And I said, what do you mean pull it from me? He goes, no. If the machine can resonate with you like tuning forks, you knock one tuning fork and you have the other one at the same note. You know this in music. You'll make the other one vibrate just by hitting one of them. And he said the machine will do the same thing for you. So you can set the machine at a certain frequency of parasite, and if it finds it in you, it'll pull all the energy away from the parasites. And I went,
That's crazy.
and I was like, what are you talking about? And I didn't know. You know what my dad did? My dad was getting treated, and he goes, I feel like I'm tasting a nickel in my mouth. He kept doing that. I was like, what does that mean? He goes, it tastes like metals all in my mouth. And I was like, all right. And he got worked on a couple times, and he never had another fainting spell again.
Wow.
And you think, that doesn't make you think, what is that about?
I wonder if he tasted the heavy metals as the parasites.
Completely.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Whatever they were
The
dumping.
die-off, right?
Yep.
And that's why I went to school. My friend, okay, so when he showed me that device, it had the same it had a plate, just like the machine, the radionics machine. I know it's a lot to take in, guys, but he worked on me, and I couldn't get my neck fixed up. And there's a couple of acupuncture meridians. One's called a gallbladder meridian. It starts right here. It does this number. It goes to your TMJ. So if you have TMJ problems, gallbladder, goes around your ear, goes back up here, comes right down the neck, and he says, hey, you've got gallbladder issues. That's why your neck doesn't go into place.
But okay, so this is what's so interesting about this. An actual accident did trigger an injury, right? But which is so parallel to her.
Yeah.
But it's because there was this other issue that's connected to where that injury is that is out of balance or something's wrong with it. And so if that's not fixed, this can't fully.
That's true. You just hit the nail on the head. Because the thing was, I get all excited. I want to get too.
And it weakens.
Yes.
It weakens the area as well. So invaders like to come in where it's
Exactly.
a weakened area.
It's pre-existing.
Yeah, because my area is weakened.
And so actually, the accident was kind of a blessing in disguise.
That's exactly right.
Because it uncovered something
The
that you
injury
would have
exposed
never known.
something to you, and the body was able to speak to you in symptoms.
That's right. And there was no accident that an accident occurred. Because it exposed, because your life path was, not say determined, but your intention had a life path. So you drew it to you to put you into that direction. Wow. Isn't that crazy? That whenever I got hit in the neck, he goes, oh no, it's a gallbladder. I said, what? Does all these little points, you see me doing on you. I feel like my body goes into rigor mortis for like 3 days. I feel like I'm detoxing. I was like, I don't sleep this long. I don't poop this much. This is going crazy. And then my neck stopped hurting. And I was like, I can move my neck completely. And he says, it was your gallbladder. That whole point you just said is like, did that choose me, that accident, to get to where I'm at today?
Do you think it's already all in us and then those accidents could happen and it releases? Like,
I'm not opposed to that thought process.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because our tissue, I mean, all of this is a pretty wild thought process of what's really in these human bodies.
Yes, and I always wonder if you already have the coding within you, like you're in this space and you're going through your journey and you're unraveling it, and so you had the accidents come to you because you have a set destiny, and some people believe that. So I'm with you. I think that whenever those things occur, that was it already the emitting of the frequencies? Because this is the other part. It says, well, your dad had gallbladder issues, right? And then you think, did you or I get something from our parents unknowingly? And we are processing it, but something in our subconscious or something in our energetic field was like, I don't need to perpetuate this or carry this anymore.
Yeah.
So you created the frequency, or you accepted the fact that you may have to be the one to break it, and so you chose the path in life you were taking.
Oh my God.
Generational.
It's not just generational curses, but I was born in mold.
Yeah.
And because of all the things I've been through, we found out and uncovered my mom has the same mold strands as me. And we were sitting around the table a couple of months ago, and I had her tested for all the same things I was tested for, and they were all the exact same. Everything was almost exactly the same.
Are you serious?
Exactly the same. The same exact mold. Then my dad and her started talking, and the light bulbs were going off in my family. And my mom and dad looked at each other and said, oh, that's what's wrong with my mom.
And if you would have never gone through everything you did up until this point in your life, that would have never happened. That conversation would have never happened. So you are a generational curse breaker.
Whether it's the generational gene issue or the generational environmental toxins that have eaten my family, and it just I mean, it all makes sense.
Oh, I just love it. I mean, it makes me, like, you guys say, listening to you guys talk, it just has this like camera roll goes in my head where you think you remember you told me a story how you met Jeremy, and then you guys were like, and when you're up in the cab and you're like, I just went up there to die, and you think about all the energy, and we all have those stories in our life, and then you think you had your parents and that thing built up in you, and then you're like, all that to get to where you are. And you've like, how many people have responded to you guys about like the podcast, the supplements? I mean, how many of
the ripple effect is real.
Dropping the pebble in the pond.
How many people truly were touching, expanding? I mean, even just me finding her when I did in her parasite cleanse. I was 13 years deep into a holistic lifestyle, and I had never parasite cleansed.
Which is a miss for everyone.
It's wild. I mean, I missed
crazy.
it. I couldn't believe it. I was so on point about everything else, and I did, and hundreds of worms left my body. And I know because y'all talked about it on your podcast. But over 100 left my nose, Dr. Motley. I blew over 100 out of my nose. So, and this was
good gracious.
So
her nose.
It's me meeting her when I was supposed to, and just from meeting her and having the experience I had with removing hundreds of these visible worms from my body, I put every family member, every friend, I've put so many people onto it now. They've done it. So it's like the ripple effect from us going through our own challenges and accidents and healing, then it ripple effects out to everyone we know, and then it's like each one teach one, and that's just everybody keeps healing.
Everybody keeps growing.
And
I
growing
think
and
how
healing,
many people have you like affected? And I'm wondering, like, all the like for the yin yang, and I'm just saying there's some people's thoughts. It's like how much energy you had to absorb, and now your body's like, well, that's how much energy I have to push out. And I think that it really is like, those are the mysteries I think about too. Like whenever you think about energetics, and like you say your mom passed mold to you, and everything's exactly the same.
Like born into mold. Born into it. I do have a question. My question is, how do you process all of the energy that you're absorbing from people that you're healing?
I'm so glad you asked, because I had the same question.
Yeah,
I was just going to reword it a little bit different, so maybe it might even spark a little extra. But how do you observe, not absorb, and take it all on when their chi and energy is going into you when you touch it? How do you protect yourself?
How do you protect
and
yourself?
not carry that and absorb it?
Yeah, and then and then we'll go back to the
I think
we gotta go back to the question that we needed.
I think it's a good question. I think people out there, like, to preface that too, it's like where you think about all the, and I'm not saying my patients give this, but I think when people really think like being around individuals or going through a situation where there's toxic energy, and what do you do to like release it? I will say that I was not the best. I say it kind of, I'll try to laugh it off, but to release it, people would say you need to do a certain amount of grounding. Chinese medicine practitioners would say you need to do some forms of Qigong or Tai Chi. Others say you need to go take a shower every single time you take, because the water helps actually take all the polaric charge off your skin. There's certain ways people say go outside and ground, grab a tree. I used to always, at the end of the day, try and go do like touch trees so you could transfer some of that electrical energy out of your body. Unfortunately, I didn't do that very well all my life. So when they say when I observe and not absorb, you do absorb quite a bit sometimes. And that's not to have anybody feel sorry for me. It's just practitioners. If you go to a lot of the seminars I go to where there's a lot of frequency and energetic work, practitioners, a lot of them don't look the best.
Yeah.
They all have it on their face. They all have like joints that hurt. Is because, remember, like you just said, if I do absorb and I'm deciphering the information from you, the only reason you resonate with the person is because you've experienced it as well.
Oh,
right?
That's a lot.
So if it keeps building up over time, it will express itself. So, point in case, 2017, I woke up in the middle of the night like the worst stabbing pain in my stomach. And I thought it was a kidney stone. It wasn't. It was a ruptured ulcer. And it was because not only like absorbing people's energy all day, but my mom and my brother, like the situation at home was just a lot of stress. And my mom had a chronic stomach and worry issues, and that passed to me. And that thing festered since I was a kid, because I used to have ulcers when I was a kid, and it finally ruptured. And my sister was there. She was very, very kind, but she's like, you know what it is. It's all the energy absorbed and all the people that are around you. You can't help that. So I decided I needed to slow down. That's why I kind of semi-retired a bit. But how do you get from absorbing and observing? I think I've gotten better to listen to my body. I think grounding mats are really good, grounding sheets. Practitioners out there will actually put their feet on a grounding mat. I try to get outside as much as I can. That's why I like to go to the ocean and put my feet in the water, because it'll like pull all that the positive ionic charge out of your body, which is toxicity. I'd say this though, it's made me slow down a lot, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself, but I think that you start to absorb as much as you do, and it wears you down. And the only problem is that you get so used to feeling other people's thoughts and energy that you'll get overloaded and you'll start to get disconnected, because you have to deal with theirs and you don't know how to deal with yours. So that's my issue there.
That is so interesting. You said theirs and yours, because it's like, how when you're so in tune and empathic and open to be able to even feel someone else's, how can you even navigate that using discernment on what's mine and what isn't?
And truly,
it's like
it is.
The lines are blurred.
It totally is
the
blurred.
lines are blurred for me, not as a practitioner, but just a human in life being empathic.
Yep.
I walk around, and a lot of time I'm like, why do I feel like that?
Yeah.
And I'll think it's me, and then I'll be like, wait a minute, was that them? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what's mine and what's someone else's when it comes to energy, because I'm a feeler. I'm a Scorpio moon. I feel everything to the deepest, darkest waters. So,
When's your birthday?
I'm a Aries sun, March sun, but I'm a Scorpio moon.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
the emotions and the way I process emotions, deep, dark, in the primordial, shadowy waters. But
in the moon.
So I think that's really brilliant. It's not, you don't have to say like, oh, I'm not feeling sorry for myself. Like,
we don't think you're feeling sorry for yourself.
It's not coming off like that at
Ever.
all. It's coming off like, whoa, what a amazing human healer to take this on, even knowing in advance, like, oh, you can take it on and it can affect you and all that, and still going through it and really just navigating it the best you could. It just sounds really human.
It is.
And it's like you learned as you went, right?
Absorbing. I mean, I have to say that when I worked in the field, because I did the specialties neurology, and so I dealt with a lot of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and MS, and that was really hard to not absorb it. And, and I was young, I had no idea, and I would go home and I could feel certain things.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I went and got tested for MS because I'm like, oh wait, like I mean, I went through the whole and I didn't know how to just observe versus absorb.
Look at us, open-hearted.
I love
humans.
Yeah,
we're just so open. It's like
It's when you as a practitioner, you think you'd be I say smarter or like more wisdom to where you like. Yeah, I think that you keep learning and learning, and like you even as I've been doing it for this long, you think all the techniques, like they say, use homeopathy, use these crystals, or use essential oils, which whoever uses those, it's great. But I always feel this though. I always think that you're eventually going to absorb other people's stuff if you're helping them, and you can't necessarily escape it.
Yeah.
But practitioners out there, if you know a way, please tell me. I'm not saying
The
we
tools.
don't.
Let
The
us
tools.
know.
The tools. I
totally
mean,
am
you've
with
listed
you.
a lot of amazing ones, so I love that you even like are aware of that, and people know like, oh no, these are tools.
They're the
like,
tools.
Use these tools. They work.
They work,
right?
and they don't. Because I'll see quite a bit of people in a day, and it's not probably the smartest thing to do because you're just one energy field after the other. So I always compare it to be like, if you had a fully charged battery and you just went in the parking lot and there was a bunch of dead batteries, and you went and just charged each one of them up off the same battery, and that's it. After a day of seeing 20, 25 people, you're just like, man, that's a little bit harsh on the body. So I think that once you can learn how to allow energetics to flow through you, that's one of the keys. Like some of the best Qigong masters, they know how to allow the energy to flow right there.
And it doesn't get stuck. That's smart.
Through you. Like you're transparent almost. It's like through you.
It is. It's like, for instance, okay, so if you ever hear a situation that makes you go, something happened, you go, and you breathe in and you'll stick it in your stomach or stick it down here, it's because you intentionally want to grab the energy and try to fix it.
Get out of here. Is that when we go,
yeah. Because you actually build it in and you hold it in the organ.
we have to release it then.
We have to go.
Okay, and just, I was having back spasms and I dove deep into a guy whose lower back, how to release all that. And he uncovered a really awesome key I'd never thought about before. We're so focused in this world about the breathing in.
Yeah.
And he taught me how to breathe all the way out.
Yeah.
He goes, breathe all the way out, now breathe out more, then breathe out more and more and more. And you're going to feel your diaphragm and your stomach go way in. He goes, now see how that feels? Your core is real tight now, right?
Yeah.
Now breathe in, but keep your core like that. Now you're breathing into your low back when you do that. But when I learned how to breathe all the way out, he goes, you don't understand. What happens is that air gets so stagnant down there, and you just have air always stagnant, stuck down there. And I never realized, in just like a human reaction to something, what we do, we go,
You do.
You literally just took the energy in. So now being aware of that,
I'm
if
not
you ever
doing that.
do that, no, if you do
I'm not
but
doing
it's
it
human
anymore.
to do it.
Because
So if
every
you
time
do-
I've done that, it's usually because I
Jeremy
saw a
Washer.
picture of a worm.
It's human.
And then all of
to
a
do
sudden
that.
I
You go
passed
past
it
that
a
worm.
couple
But
of
hold on.
days
if
later.
If you do it because you're human, then just remember to breathe out and release it so that it can go out of you. And
do you find yourself sometimes? I have a lot of patients that when they get on the table, they've had a hard day, and this is another thing. You breathe in, they'll do this, they'll go. They're sighers. They're sighing all the time.
I'm a sigher.
And you sigh.
I hold my breath.
Yep.
I hold my breath and I sigh.
You know, you can't digest air. That's what you're trying to. You can't get enough air in. And so what they call it is, this is one aspect about saying it, but they call it either you're living in a fright conflict or a death conflict because you need more air. And so people will breathe in. And when you said it beautifully, when you hold it in your lungs and the ears, remember the lungs are eating air as much as your stomach is eating food.
Get out of here.
So if you don't breathe out, your lungs and your large intestine are the two main organs that help you expel waste, because your large intestine helps you poop. Your lungs will breathe out so much bacteria, yeast, mold. You know that it comes out. Whatever's not basically put out through your large intestine will either go through your skin or through your breath. So if you hold on to your breath, you'll hold on to a ton of toxic waste. But this is the kicker. What will it do to your mentality? If you go and you breathe in, you're basically telling yourself, hold on to all the crap you can. And you're going to hold on to all the crap you can. And if you don't breathe it out, you'll get used to it. And then you'll hold on to a lot of crap, and you'll start seeing weight gain and slower metabolism and constipation and things. And you're going like, well, I can take care of this, and I can do it. And you have control issues. You want to control the situation.
Because you're holding on.
Because you're holding on to it the whole time.
You're grasping.
So your only thing is, like, when you breathe it in, your brain and your organs are just working in synchronicity because you're living that in your brain. Isn't that crazy? Like you like you just said, I breathe out. Like I used to have a friend at school, and he used to smoke cigarettes. He didn't want his parents to know. Like when he was like 14 or 15, he would do this. He would breathe real hard, And he would be in school. He wouldn't be smoking, and he'd breathe out cigarette smoke because it was stuck in the bottom of his lungs. And as a kid, I laughed. I was like, Josh, I don't think that's the best thing, man. You got to get that checked. You know?
I don't think that's it. Yeah.
But we do that, like you said. If you're a sire, they say that your body's craving oxygen is because there could be possibly a program saying when you were hurting and dying in your heart. I'm not trying to bring up bad thoughts or memories, but your brain is processing that. So you have to keep on, like, as you breathe, you got to practice breathing out, especially through your stomach. And when you let chi flow through you, this is the crazy thing. Sometimes in the day when you feel like a lot's coming up and you go, oh, I feel it all up in my chest. You literally stand up, and when I say this is the easiest, and you've heard me say this before, you relax your bladder and your bowels as though you're going to go to the restroom. And that will open up your parasympathetics. If you can make those muscles around your bung hole and your pee get really relaxed, you'll allow the energy to flow right down through there, down through your nether regions, down through your feet. And if you can do that, you'll let go. But who does that every day? And so if you can actually sit there and so if somebody comes and says, Kim,
Yeah.
or you just go, and you almost want to catch it, because it's almost like whenever you think I'm going to pee my pants and you catch on to that, right? It's the same thing you do. You hold on to your waist.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know how to do that well. I'm just saying I don't at all. I just think it's really like when you practice, like in the office, guys, when I'm working on somebody and I feel like I literally will do something, I'll grab somebody's hand or something, and it's not their bad intentionality, but I'll feel them, and I call it pulling on me. They are tired in a certain parameter of their body, and when I do that, they're like, Motley's got energy that I need, and they'll just pull me, and I'm like, and it got me. And then you start feeling the symptoms they feel, and so I'll do this, and it happens quite a bit. Energy transfer. So there'll be like, there's energy vampires. Some people don't mean to actually do that.
Not maliciously.
It's,
to me, that sounds like a body survival mechanism.
Exactly.
It's just
and a comfort of
animal
energy.
Body. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, life.
Yep.
Dr.
comfort.
J always talks, life wants to live.
Yeah.
Well, the other day I realized death wants to die.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's
the
a
other
good
side
point.
of that,
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, well, wait a minute.
Or take someone with them.
Yeah, and
So
not
alone.
and like you said, not
Sheesh.
maliciously, but unconsciously.
Unconsciously.
And so, okay, there's one thing you said I think is really important, because this whole time we've talked a lot about the physical stuff, so much physical and the energy and all of that, right? But pointing to organs, pointing to injuries, pointing to diseases or illnesses. But you did mention your mom carried worry, and she passed that to you. So worry, it's not a physical, tangible thing you can see. It's an emotion, right? So I recently have dove into the mind-body connection and mind-body medicine and the connection between the two. And last night when you were working on Kim, every single part you would touch on her, it wasn't just physical. You would talk about an emotion. You even brought out your homeopathic flower essences and plant essences, and they told you what emotions were causing the certain things. So can we for a moment just touch on that, like the importance of, okay, not just releasing breath and healing an organ to heal an injury, or getting parasites out that are physical, but what about those invisible emotions?
I think that's one of the biggest things that over the years I was never a practitioner. I like to deal with emotions. I was always a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I liked structural ligaments, muscles.
Sure.
And
it's everything you can see
everything
and touch.
is tangible.
Yeah,
it's like
we have to be able to
For
see
sure.
it.
Yeah. And
But I'm dealing with things I know are
she's-
caused
and
by.
she's an emotional.
I'm very
creature.
emotional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she feel like
Everything, I
her
feel
emotions are tangible to her, where our emotions are very like, oh, they'll be there. We
No,
gotta
no,
work
no.
on the black
I
and
feel
white,
it all to
right?
the deepest
She feels
level.
it, and it is like it's like this to her, right? And
Yeah.
our bodies are like this to us.
Yeah.
Her emotions are like this.
That's a good point.
So my whole
I
life,
like that.
because it's been like that, I've just, in a lot of situations, cry, you're so dramatic, you're so sensitive. So I learned to just push
Yeah.
down. And so now I'm experiencing physical symptoms that I know are
That
manifestations of it.
Yeah.
So I'm currently learning how to release them and doing like this certain type of like journal speak where I get it out, unbridled writing, and let that little toddler have
For
the
her
fit and like get it
physical.
out.
From her physical,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go
yeah.
out.
I'm learning how to process the emotional
Yeah.
because it's already been manifested into a physical problem.
That's
Yeah.
That's a
So
great
They're
we're
point.
just now
We're
popping
literally-
up
yeah,
for me
they're-
as the physical, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's
Yeah.
a connection here. So in your work, when you sense and you see what emotions are causing things for people, how do you? I see you, physically fix things and open things up, but how do you have them address those emotional things?
There's a lot of good ways, and I think that people out there, when you hear it, you're thinking, yes, I got so much emotions that I know is trapped in my body, and I don't know how to actually release them because I go to, I love these things. I love like talk therapy and different types of therapy, like EMDR and such, and they work. Some people don't think talk therapy actually works. They'll say that, and I'm like, well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the point, you guys already answered the question. You guys did a great job because this is the thing
So
that
reiterate.
whenever you already know that you're in touch with your emotion, that you're right. There's some people who are so good at feeling what they emotionally feel that they actually could tell you where it's at in their body. They go, oh, I feel that super much in my chest. The flip side is when they feel it in their chest, it could be in their lungs, and this is the thing, but the lungs are connected to like the upper back, like your upper thoracic, and you wouldn't know that. And she would say, oh, it's in my lungs, and then she goes, oh, but my back hurts.
Yeah.
So Kim would probably say, well, man, my back hurts like this. So you would go with your chest. You would say it comes into my back. So it's the language. How do you perceive the input? And I think that whenever I'm working on somebody and there's an emotion that's trapped, I will say that all elements will have an energetic field, a compressed energetic field that's probably initiated. The problem, unless you drank water that had tons of parasites, unless you ate something with parasites and was attracted. Now, I think you've hit on this before, but if you have an emotion that was given to you by a parent, like worry, remember that you learn not only seeing the trait in your parent, but generational and energetic in your blueprint. DNA. You actually have certain sections of your DNA that are telling you this is how you should respond with worry. Like you should worry, shame, guilt. I feel like I don't belong. I'm not worthy of this. And if you look back in generational, like that's the same pattern. And when you do that, the work that I hope to bring is that if I find where you trapped it, I can tell where your physical body will express it. But you're right. It took time for it to finally physically manifest because the longer it's in your psychology
And nervous
system,
Yep.
it's been there for a long time. You finally got tipped over and now it's showing in a bad shoulder or a bad hip. But whenever I look at every point on you, the reason I would do that is because I wanted to find out what your backstory was to every single point. Because like for instance, the elbow, I'd be like, is it resentment or anger? Is it emotional exhaustion, distrust? Because what will happen is you start to hear the repeating pattern. Because if Kim kept showing up distrust, she doesn't trust that she's doing a good enough job.
Oh, it could be self-trust.
Self-trust.
Not even
You could come into it and you know, like with your own emotions, you're like, oh man, I do that all the time. And then the thing I want to do is like, if I find which organ, I'll find all the related points and release them so the chi can get to the organ to wake you up. And so whenever I'm doing this for her, I'm trying to get small intestine to wake up. So small intestine will be like, actually, you know what? Like I am doing this again. So it's awareness.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to do is open up all the points physically, like get all the muscles opened up. For instance, this is an example, to get the energy into the organ that's processing her distrust. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to, so every time it happens.
You're opening the blockage, you're letting the energy flow through, and that organ should then do its job.
Exactly
to
right.
help discharge the...
And you just hit it right.
I got something on it.
Yep.
I got something.
Go for it.
So I used to have, when you worked on my hip, that pain used to be in my neck. And I physically get stellate ganglia blocks that are lidocaine and steroid. And since getting those, my pain has gone to this area.
Oh
It is pushed, and I
You
know.
transferred it.
Oh yeah, I know for a fact because I was laying in bed the other day and I was like, man, the same pain used to be here. I get the blocks. You can get the same slate
blocks?
block down here, right? But I paused it from manifesting here, and I pushed it to
But
here.
this is
Wow.
what else is tripping me
Wow.
out about your injury, though. Your injury.
Yeah.
This is what else is tripping me out that I just learned from you.
Yes,
which is,
yes.
I'm still so like
I'm so
mind blown about it.
mind-blown.
Oh, stop.
Watch, because you had the same thing happen to you. So this is what's so trippy to me about the body. Everything's connected.
Yep.
It's all connected. It's like a system that has like, it's all interconnected.
Yep.
And we don't necessarily know, like laymen don't necessarily know how it's all connected or how it works. You know, we have one and we don't really know how it didn't come with like a manual, right? But what's wild about it is you had an accident happen that injured your knee and your hip, but like you, because multiple accidents actually. So like she had this trauma happen physically that actually was an event in life.
Yep.
But it hasn't been able to fully heal because it's connected to all these other organs and spots of your body that you're holding emotions, or that you have candida or that you have yeast or whatever. And so he's all like, he's like, nope, it's connected to this. So until you correct and let the energy and frequency flow freely through those areas and clean out or pull the energy away from the yeast in that area or whatever,
That's right.
And then now that's working, right? That injury can finally heal because it's not compensating for this other, and right?
That's
is this
exactly right.
No, that's correct.
It's
It truly is.
And you
It's
can try
mind-blowing.
all the physical things. You can do
Yeah.
all those physical things, which I've
Right.
done, right? I've done stem cells, I've done PRP, I've done injections, I've done epidurals, I've done nerve blocks,
Yeah.
and I still have pain there.
Oh,
I've done
because
everything.
it's almost like the
It's like
Band-Aid
emotions.
approach.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
a Band-Aid
her hip is
until-
hurting, so we're so focused on the hip.
That they would
Yeah.
say that if you went to the no knock on orthopedics, but they go there and like, we're just going to keep on working on that
Yep.
one vertebra, and then with your example, I mean, Kim, you may see it in the video, but like her quads wouldn't turn on that one side. Remember her quadricep muscle, right? And what is that associated with? It's associated with the same nerve that goes to her small intestine. So
And I had small intestinal parasites.
she had
too.
small intestinal parasites. So why would the small intestine parasites go to her small intestines? Because there's probably some blocked energy or program running in the small intestine, which would have to say in German medicine, like, you're not processing the fullness of life.
Yep.
You're not getting the most
I
out
don't
of
feel
life.
worthy. I don't have self-worth.
Yep.
And I talk about that a lot. Like,
Yep.
I'm not ashamed to say that when I need to cleanse, it's when I start to feel unworthy.
That's big.
And that's where that emotion comes from.
Yeah.
And that's also why I love Sustain so much.
Yeah.
Our tincture, because of the fact that I put in peppermint, it's a digestive aid, and it's because I have a feeling of unworthiness, and I have my whole life.
That is like, see, that to me, I want everybody to hear that, because like I can get real technical and it can get a little bit over people's head space, but I would say that when you feel your worthiness come in, I come into the idea of like, if it goes into a certain muscle, then I'm saying it will turn off those muscles in life, and you won't able to do the physical things that would put you forward.
Yeah.
Like if your quads are not turned on, what were you going to do? You're not going to be able to move your knees and move forward. And what will you do psychologically?
Oh, it's terrible.
You won't feel like moving.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean,
That is wild.
I don't really talk a lot about it, but like there's times when I've gone to Disneyland with my niece and I had to have a wheelchair because I physically, but I also had a lot of anxiety, and I did realize that it's associated together, but also that it was so much pain.
That's exactly
right.
Truly, I think that's how emotions. How do you interpret pain? And when you realize that pain, fear will trap in certain parts of the body, and you're right. It's just like, I have worked in that way. Like you put a good point. Yes, over the years I've learned how to associate your emotion with which part of the body, and I wish there was more practitioners that worked in different hospital settings that would do that, because you can find out a lot. But I think personally, when you realize like why don't you feel like you can stand up for yourself? Why don't you feel like you can actually stand your ground? Why don't you feel like you can keep from wavering? And you think about like what happens to my hips on my side of my body. This is truly, think about it. The hip muscles keep you from going back and forth. If you walk straight, it's because they feel stable. But in Chinese medicine and kinesiology, you would say that those hip muscles have everything to do with your ovaries. They're connected to your ovaries. So if you have ovarian issues, if you feel like you have to be a mother for everybody, if I have to send energy to actually make sure everybody's okay, you'll start to feel like you're you're going to waver. I don't have enough energy for myself. I feel like I'm just moving back and forth in life. And when you start cleaning up that psychology of like, you got to take care of yourself a bit, and you need to start to heal your ovaries and heal your reproductive and feel desire, then your hip muscles will turn on.
And even pleasure.
That's exactly right.
And I think whether you actually have physical ovaries or not.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Because I don't have ovaries.
And so
No.
she has.
But you're
if
the second doctor in the last couple of weeks that has mentioned it with me.
Yeah, right off the
because
bat.
whether you still physically have those organs or
Right.
not, your body remembers them.
It
You
does.
have the energy of it, and
The-
you still are a human
Yes.
woman. And so it's like you still have to, like he said, like take care of yourself, allow yourself to feel that pleasure because you know you're worthy of it,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
deserve it.
Deserve it. And it's like
Yeah.
whenever she says, like for me, like because I get science nerd about it, that her ankles show up and she says my ankles hurt. Well, the ankles and foot reflexology has everything to do with reproductive, so my brain just goes reproductive area. Yeah. And she's like, I don't have ovaries.
Well, we talked about
It's the
this, and we
phantom.
wonder if she still is going through a cycle every month,
Yeah,
even if she doesn't have the
Yeah.
organs.
Yeah.
And then but because it's been so long since,
Yeah,
for lack
like
of a better
20
word, she
years.
bled.
Yeah.
She's not living life thinking about where she's at in her cycle, because how would
Ever.
she know?
How would
And
she
so
know?
but it's like, oh my god, she's so emotional today, she's so this, she's so that, or she's so like sensitive or whatever, or like irritable or whatever. And it's like, I mean, you're still a woman.
They still roaming.
So so that's like
Truly.
so wild. But I
No.
am gonna add another title to his long list of titles of what he is.
Oh, what?
You're a body whisperer.
Oh,
What is
yes.
that?
You can read and hear the body. Not everyone can.
Oh,
Everyone has one, and not all of us can hear it. So if you could give our audience any advice, tips, wisdom on how they can start listening and hearing it more, because the body's always speaking to us.
Yeah.
Speaks to us in symptoms, sometimes subtle, sometimes loud.
yes.
And how can people get more in tune with their body and really start hearing them and listening to them to be more whole, more balanced, more healthy?
And I think it's a really great point. And I tell everybody out there that I still try to accomplish this in my life. But that's the biggest key, like you said, is how can you decipher what's yours and what's not yours? And that's my biggest thing, is what can you do, or how can you actually strengthen up your energetic field to be able to decipher what's yours and what's not, and what you will receive and what you will give. Because in health, and a lot of it has to do, when you talked about the emotions being the center of it, is preparing and creating a field that's strong enough to only allow the things you want in. So to me, one of the biggest things I tell people to do is, whether you practice like Chinese medicine or Qigong or anything like that, is it really is like we've talked about, journaling, or just having visual or mental notes about what are certain things that you would perceive as healthy for you. And when we talk about the type of people, so this is like probably one of my first things.
Okay.
I think community is, you always want to make sure that you pick, you describe the people you want around you and write it down. And the reason you describe that person is because you want the same thing for you. You want to be that same person. So I always want to say, if you could find what your ideal, now this is not self-detriment or deprecating to yourself, but you want to say, what things can I improve on, or what things do I want to see myself to accomplish what I could? And you write those down, and you say, this is where I want to be, and this is the kind of person I would love to see myself develop into and strengthen into. And then you're going to know that that's the kind of person you want to pull into your life. But when you do that and you literally keep that near you, you'll create your field that allows that frequency to come in. So the more you think about your ideal day, or your ideal self, your ideal life, you will perpetuate like that to receive. So all I'm saying is, that may sound a little corny to people, but really you have to take time every day to do that. Like if it's every 10 or 15 minutes, I mean it. Like take a walk in the morning, take a shower in the morning, even if it's long, somebody gets mad at you for being in the shower too long. You want to role play that thing in your head, because you're going to have to try to receive that, because that will not only receive the energy, it will strengthen you up. It will the more you think
You're
of a
visualizing.
thought. Exactly. Visualization will actually keep a lot of energetic, make the energetic membrane around your field really strong.
Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
So that's, if
I know
anything you
that,
do, I would say that. And when saying like surrender prayers are probably like, people will tell you to do surrender prayers, but if you can pray or meditate or do something 5 to 10 minutes every morning and relax your bunghole and I'm serious, you think it's crazy. You do that and you do that and open up and you allow and you picture yourself like a battery, a negative pole and a south pole, and you literally picture yourself recirculating energy. You will build one of the strongest fields, and if you release and let go, you're going to allow all the angst and anger and stuff literally flow through you.
Except don't resist.
Don't resist it. And if you do it every day, and you guys know this, if you do it every day, you'll train your body to be aware when an outsource of somebody else comes into your field. Because why? You got so used to the taste of your energy. Like, you keep doing that and you release, things will pass through you, and you'll start to catch things that you want to cultivate. You'll be like, oh, I need to do that. That's yours. Mm-hmm. When you hear something come to you and you go, I would never think that, it's not yours.
Oh man, my partner, mentor, husband taught me decades ago. He's like, not every thought you think is yours.
It's Jeremy not. And I just had this conversation.
It's not yours.
And
on the way to Nashville.
Yeah,
he goes, Kim, that voice inside your head that you're always listening to. He's like, that's not really you.
Yeah.
That's not you, Kim.
That's
and I'm
exactly
like, what do you mean? I listen to it all the time. He's like, I know.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of people.
I know you listen to it.
Yeah, like, I know.
Yeah. A lot of people identify with their mind completely.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I just heard you say is, well, how can you hear your body more and listen? But you have to be silent and still enough internally to be able to listen.
That is exactly right.
So ground into your body, anchor into your body too, and not in your mind. And that's what that time every day, that consistency with that time with self and cultivating self is too. And especially the non-resistant self, because that's not ego.
That's right.
So you're not in ego when you're accepting and you're relaxed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get used to. I love when I first got to the point. I'm not saying I've arrived at all. I'm saying
none of us have.
I think that whenever I got used to learning how to let that, like I said, the north and south pole, because I that's how I feel. And then I would get to the point where I knew what like the taste or the feel of my energetic field, because then you'll go out and you're going to feel I call it impressions. You'll go out and you're going to feel something come up to you. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel like, why are they pushing that on me? That's not mine. Mm-hmm. So I used to tell myself that whenever I would feel like a thought or something coming, I was like, that's not mine. That's what I say every time. That's not mine.
Well, you've now cultivated like repellent.
Yeah.
It's like just automatic repellent to what doesn't harmonize with my frequency.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just
right.
boop, boop, boop. You just constantly like this.
Constantly have to keep
really
a guard up. But
and then if something is someone's though, like if they do have something going on in their body, they do have something, an imbalance, whatever, then what do you call yourself so people could, if it's not looking you up, look up a practitioner that does the work you do. If someone watches this, listens to this, and is really interested in like having help with another professional body whisperer,
Truly.
then who would you, or what would you suggest?
Body whisperer.
You are. What would you
Dr. Body Whisperer.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you suggest they search for?
I would suggest because I know the guys that do the work. There's so many good. Okay, there's I do like neuro-emotional technique, because Scotty Walker is a chiropractic doctor that created where he just integrated acupuncture points and the use of not manipulation, but using manipulation or tapping, not EFT tapping. I like EFT tapping, but NET, neuro-emotional technique, because he used the acupuncture system, the spine, to actually help you neurologically basically identify your emotions and use those points to help release it. And I've seen hundreds, thousands of people, I'm serious, like over the years, that were able to identify. So if you're going to find somebody that did something, I would basically go do an NET doctor. That's my personal opinion. ET, neuro-emotional technique, NET, mind, body, online. And also if you can do that mixed with maybe LENS, LENS, Oaks, OCHS, LENS, Oaks, neurofeedback therapy is really good. And that helps to give you a map of your brain of which ones are asleep. For instance, I've gotten a lot of emotions cleared up, but when I got mine done, my processing centers that helped me process everybody else's emotions were super heightened. You can see it on my map. It was super heightened, so I had to process everybody's. But the parts that allows me to feel happy or feel others is completely asleep, because we only train what we continuously do. So when I saw that, I knew in my heart, I was like, oh, I have a visual from the Lens Oaks. I'm not saying you do it, but that's a good point. Start. And then I went and did NET. And what happened is I started finding out how much resentment I had to this person and that. And then I was like, heavens, I have quite a bit of resentment. And there was no shame in it.
Great.
There was no shame in it.
What
there
a
was
beautiful thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so you
great.
do it. So
Acknowledgement. I'm not judging.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's a
But wow, now that
validation.
I see it and I'm aware, I'm releasing
Yep.
this. Hey, like now I can feel happiness. Like, you know, that's the work. That's
That
the
is
inner
it.
work. So wow.
That's it. You know.
What an absolute pleasure
This was
has
so
been.
great.
Was it a good
Listen,
episode?
now listen,
Oh, so
She's
good.
been raving about you since she met
So
you.
good.
I liked you when I met you last night and watched you do your work, but like I do have to say, after this, I have a whole other deeper, just like respect, acknowledgement, and like I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, man.
Thank
like
you.
you out here like
Yeah.
doing this for real. And
I appreciate
yeah,
it.
it's really something. What a really awesome human.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're
I
so
appreciate it. I don't just say I thank you guys so much, and I think that camaraderie, like with people like mine, is like super important. And I'm glad we got
Well,
to
that's
do
the
this.
community that you were pointing to, which is like the mycelium network with mushrooms. Like we find each other, you know, we connect, and like we're here to strengthen each other. And actually, I hope all of you caught that. His first answer for how to get in tune with your own body and listen was actually community. And that's like, it's so important to find like minds, like spirits, like hearts, and other humans with like frequencies that harmonize with your own. And if you need to get yours tuned up and fine-tuned, then he gave you the resources to go and search and find people who can help you tune yours up so you can be operating and living your life in your authentic frequency and have the best quality of life you can, because you'll be feeling good in your body and mind. What a pleasure. What an honor. Thank you for being here. Do you have any last words, Kim?
Where can we find you?
Oh, thank you very much. It's just Dr. Motley spelled out. It's just Dr. D-O-C-T-O-R, Motley, and it's like Facebook, the X, Twitter, Instagram, website is drmotley.com. And really, I just want to say this before we leave, though. I would say that when Kim and I met, I knew we'd be like kindred spirits, like friends for life. But I think that one of the things that really got me is that everybody out there, like in the office, I do so many people on the parasite cleanse, and this is not to sound like trying to sound too profound, but you hit the nail on the head, and you were talking about like how it drudges up the deep things in the body. And so I'm just saying I'm super grateful, because it's allowed, when we do some testing, sometimes people don't really need a certain herb or something, but when you just give it like a tincture like you've created, it drums up things that we've forgotten.
Yeah.
And that's why people say, well, after 4 weeks I started passing something. So I'm saying kudos to you. Good job. So everybody, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Motley.
Thank you.
Thank you. And make sure you use code Dr. Motley for a discount on your ParaFy
At
cleanse
rogershood.com.
at rogershood.com, and the lymphatic kit.
And the code is spelled DRMOTLEY.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh,
thank
it's
you
our
for
pleasure.
having.
Thank you for
being
coming.
here.
Yeah, thank
just
you for
appreciate
being here.
you. You're
We
just the best.
definitely
Oh,
do.
guys, thanks you
Yeah.
guys so much.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
very
Thank you
good.
all for
Thank you.
tuning in so much. Please remember to like, subscribe, and definitely share this episode. You never know who needs to hear one of the nuggets, some of the wisdom, something in here that can help people heal, can help people feel good in their life, can help people tune up their frequency and live a balanced, healthy, and whole life. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Until next time.
Bye.